Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, Osi Edem, Yopo.
Parliament. In fact, I share office with him in Parliament. The Honorable Member of Parliament for Infantiman, Dr. Ahin. Right. He's a member of the board. Okay. So once in a while, we've had some conversations about the kind of leadership and transformation taking place at the place. And I am impressed with what Dr. Zakaria and my good friend Emisa have achieved over the past 1 year. And I want to encourage you as a media house to get them to the studio and then let's highlight the positives. Right. Recall, last year I told you that some of us who appear to speak for the NDC as a political party and who appear to speak for the government, appointees who are doing well will be minded to commend them. And those who are failing in the reset agenda as well, we will condemn them. And we will do so because when we were campaigning, we went to the people of Ghana with a message. And it's always important for us to remember that it is because of the trust they had for President Mahama. That is why they voted for him. And so if the president is performing, the president has entrusted you with an opportunity to lead any of the state institutions, and your leadership does not exude the kind of character, the leadership that the president himself has, it is our duty to call you out. Because previously, when the NPP kept messing up and they had no voice internally to bring them back on track, when they lost, they all lost together and they started speaking out. People started saying, we used to complain about this, we used to complain about this. We will not wait to all get into the ditch before we come out to complain. So as we condemn those who are not doing well, it's also important that we find the stories that are worth celebrating. I think that NIB deserves all the accolades. Right. They must be commended. I want to commend the management, especially Dr. Dolira Zakaria and my friend Emisa, who is doing a great job at NIB. Right. And also to say that beyond the transformation and having this huge increment in profit after tax and increasing the asset of NIB, now they have asset worth 12 billion plus. Wow. What we must be interested in is how do we expand the operations of the company for two reasons. To ensure that the services of NIB will be taken to almost every corner of this country so that, you know, apart from creating jobs, you can also do better in terms of the assets and even the profit. So I want to commend them once again and thank them for the good work that they are doing. And also to put the others on alert that if you do well, we will commend you. This has been published in the papers and it caught my attention because that is my bank. So I needed to know how my bank is performing. And I'm very impressed with the kind of leadership that they are providing at NIB. Moving on to issues of Public Accounts Committee.
Now, before you talk about the Public Accounts Committee, so whilst you were talking, I had to do what any responsible journalist would do. So I even checked the BNFT. You're sharing. Yes. And I went to the BNFT website, and I've seen the same story there, and which is to confirm exactly what. Of course, we all know Business and Financial Times is a reputable, is a credible newspaper. So I had to go to their online portal, and I've seen this there. So. Again, well, I'm not surprised. I'm also a client of NIB, and so I must take personal interest in what happens there. Now, you talked about the fact that the sharp rebound, it's almost like a miracle, isn't it?
Yes,
almost like a miracle.
It is, because at the point, this is a bank that almost became
now this rebound
insolvent.
This rebound that you're talking about has come at a time when the story says concerns had mounted over the bank's survival. But then we're told management is attributing the recovery to renewed operational discipline, strengthened governance, and a deliberate strategy to rebuild the bank's core business. And we're told the turnaround has been driven primarily by strong revenue growth. Operating income surged by 134%, which is to 885.5 million in 2025. So it was 134. Sorry, it was 378, and it's now moved to 885. Now, we're told net interest income more than tripled to 6,331 million, reflecting improved asset yields and a significant expansion in lending activities. We're told non-interest income also provided support with gains in trading and other operating lines, highlighting a more diversified revenue base. The improved performance was achieved alongside increased investment in human capital, with personnel costs rising by 66%, an indication of renewed staff motivation and capacity building. Now, at an operating level, the bank reversed a loss of 5.6 million cedis in 2024 to post a profit of 275.4 million cedis in 2025. Profit before tax rose sharply to 382.1 million, underscoring the strength of the recovery. Now, the earnings were further boosted by a significant increase in income from our associates, which climbed to 106.7 million cedis from 8.7 million cedis a year earlier. Look at the jump, quantum leap. Now, operational efficiency, we're told, has also improved considerably. So the bank's cost-to-income ratio declined to about 64%, down from over 100% in 2024. Although operating expenses rose in line with business expansion and prevailing economic conditions, revenue growth outpaced costs, resulting in stronger margins. The balance sheet expansion reflects renewed confidence in the bank. Total liabilities increased to 10.5 billion from 6.7 billion, driven largely by growth in customer deposits. So I can go on and on and on. Now, the managing director, you mentioned his name, is called Dr. Zakaria, supported by his deputy, managing director Thomas Hughes, Emisa, and we're told the board chairman is Frank Edu himself, Frank Edu Jr., within a broader economic policy environment shaped by the finance minister Kansalato forcing under the administration of President John Dramani Mahama. We're told that they intend to strengthen core banking operations, tighten straight risk management, and leveraging strategic investment to deliver long term value. So congratulations. Of course, it's in line with the ethos of this show, which is the Good Morning Ghana platform. We always want to highlight and project and commend persons who are doing well, especially when it comes to managing state institutions. And those who are also not doing well, we like to call you out. Because for me, regardless of which political party, if these institutions do well, we all benefit. As for me, in my case, even direct, because I'm a client there, if the bank doesn't also do well, we get affected because it's a Ghana property. That's the bottom line. And so at some point, again, those appointees who are not doing well will come here and talk about you as well. It doesn't matter which party is in power, you're doing well with talk. I mean, I recall back in the day, Randy used to bring up some of these institutions were doing well, even under the MPP administration, and so we're just being consistent. So what Edem has done, my production team and I were actually thinking of doing the same, but it looks like he's taking the wind out of us. So that's fine.
I think that is an exciting.
That's fine.
This is good.
Yeah,
I think. I mean, it's good that Edem is bringing this up. But strangely, I think it's his friend. That's why he's doing this.
Every time a lot of appointees are
it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, you have to.
But a lot of appointees
you also have to project your friends. I mean, that's fine.
But it is based on performance.
That is fine.
Like I said, and let me also be quick to add. Let me be quick to add
that
with regards to NIB, because before I move to my part, I will get to you. The finance minister also announced to Parliament that NIB is now fully capitalized.
Okay.
And so now they have met their minimum capital requirements. Now the issues surrounding some of their workers who feared losing their jobs, all those issues are over.
Because what it means they can afford to pay them.
Now they can afford to pay, because don't forget, in 2024 they were actually on the verge of losing some of their workers. They actually made some offers to them. I have friends who work within that bank. So it is only proper that with this sharp turnaround, we celebrate them and encourage them to employ more people, expand. So we create jobs, sustainable jobs for young people of this country. Now, Moro, moving to the PAC question.
Let me say one thing.
Or you want us to stay on?
Just one thing.
I'm actually getting you go ahead.
Okay, so just one thing before we go to the topic of today. It's good. I think they've done well, but let's not forget the cost to the Ghanaian people as well.
Right.
There's a recapitalization. I think about 2.4 million.
Right.
It was 450 million. Cash that was given to them. 1.4 million in the form of government bonds. And then transfer of interest in Nestle to them as well. So it didn't happen in a vacuum. It's not that all of a sudden the management of the bank did some magic and it happened. There was a recapitalization which is costing us, some money. Yeah, but of course, fair to them, they've received it if they've done something with it. But let's not tell the story, making it seem that some magic, has happened.
No, but that is magic. It's leadership.
But
even for you to attract, support from. No, but I mean,
I just want us to put it in the broader.
I understand you, but I'm saying that the MPP had the opportunity to also do same. If you knew that
But
that was the way
we did
to
a
go.
total
But it
cleanup
takes
of the banking
leadership.
sector.
It is, I didn't want us
We
to.
did a
I didn't want us
total
to
cleanup of the banking
Yeah, but I didn't want us
sector.
to politicize this. But
I'm not politicizing.
But
I'm
again,
just bringing the whole story.
Great, but
That's
I'm
all.
also telling you that
Uh-huh.
again,
Yes.
I can say on authority
Yes.
that it is because of the kind of leadership, stellar leadership being provided by the MD.
But Edem,
Dr.
don't get me wrong.
Zakaria.
Don't get me wrong.
That for me.
I'm
is
not
the reason why
downplaying the
NIB
amount
is
of work that they've
yes,
done.
they
What
have
I say,
done the
let's
work.
bring the whole thing into
Let's
perspective.
credit
Let's tell the whole
He has done
story.
a great job.
Let's tell the whole story.
He has done a great job.
Let's tell the whole story. That's the only thing I'm saying.
Right.
You
So,
know, the
if I can
recapitalization
move to
and
my
costing us
PAC
money is
issue.
part
Yeah,
of it.
before you come in, just a quick one. You know, this conversation we have just broached has also then now ADB.
Okay.
ADB. I've just received some very, very, very important information from ADB. And we have to be consistent in the sense that we're saying that one state institutions
They have their
we
figures
highlight
out there.
them.
If it doesn't go
No,
well.
ADB, I'm actually I'm studying this.
Maybe you should share with me. Let me.
Yes.
let me study.
Yes. And
I've not chanced on this.
in the case of, and I'll share, you know, how to call it. We'll share further and better the particulars with you on the ADB story. But what I can tell you is that ADB, which is a Greek Development Bank, also inherited a 35 million. So I don't have his permission to mention his name. Is it 35 million cedis debt or 35 million profit? But whatever it is, in 2025, profit after tax. So let's even assume that 35 million is actually a profit,
Yes.
right? So in the case of ADB, profit after tax in 2025 shot up from 35 million to 365 million.
It means that, you see, let me just tell you this. It means that we are doing something well, something right within the banking sector. And Moro, this may surprise you, but my friend, I mean, the one who is managing ADB rather, I am very close to. I have worked with him. I have worked under him.
Yes.
The Honorable Ato Sapon was my boss. And so I have a very, very good relationship with him. And so if I had seen this anywhere in the papers,
yes,
I would have been, that would have been the first for me to highlight. But just to say that I have never doubted the competence of Ato. And he's a very disciplined manager. You know, when he's in charge, puts all those very affable. He will laugh when he has to. He will say, you know, he has a very good sense of humor and all of that. But he doesn't play with his work.
Right.
And my friend Prince Minka, who is now the PRO for Good Board, would say that we always have a name that we call Honorable Ato Sapon behind us, a TIF1, TIF2.
Right.
We understand what it means. He's a very, very, very serious leader, and anything he's committed to, he delivers excellence. So I am not surprised that ADB2 is seeing that turnaround. I've also seen in the papers, recently, Abraham Ferguson spoke about what is happening at GCB as well. So maybe we need a day to discuss the turnaround in the banking sector, the financial sector. Because the governor himself, I know, is doing well. Finance minister is doing well. Gold Board is doing well. And so if the state banks are also performing, they are standing, it is something worth talking about. So let's have this conversation on another.
Let me do this. So this one, let me just read it because it's about the Black Stars before you move on and talk about the what happened in Parliament. So Master Planner Junior sends his message. It says, now that Dr. Dāre is sacked, we're begging the sports minister he shouldn't use sole sourcing to select a new coach for the Black Stars. Master Planner, Junior Policy Analyst from Ken Tampo. That's it. Anyway, so what happened in Parliament? Edem.
So let me say that I am a member of the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament. And I do not intend to discuss fully everything that happened at or what happens within the committee. But because this video is out there, I would want to speak to it because you asked. Yesterday, we, as a committee, we sat to look into the special audit conducted by the ministry or sanctioned by the Ministry of Finance. And in that special audit yesterday, the Finance Ministry appeared, led by the Deputy Minister, Shortly after that, the Minister for Trade, and then we had Agric. For the Ministry of Agric, a number of issues were raised with regards to some supply of grains, rice, maize, and what have you. A particular company by name Rams Logistics, a company that I'm personally looking further into. I am trying to unbox who the owners are and who the directors are and all of that, and why the company was paid for some work that they did not do, as the report identified. And so the Deputy Minister earlier mentioned that after he presented his report to Parliament on the 10th of March. It's actually today's daily graphic.
Is that yes, Rams Logistics refunded
they refunded some 19.1 million.
Okay, all right.
So the Director of Procurement, in her speech, or making an excuse for why the company could not supply all, or transport or distribute all the grains as they were paid to do, she mentioned that some party people took over the warehouse. As a member of the committee, I sought clarification that what do you mean by party people? Then the conversation changed from whether she meant party people as a political party or she meant parties to the contract. But I believe that Ghanaians are the best judges. All those who watched the video, those who heard her clear, you mentioned party people, related it to elections, and all of a sudden, I saw some attempts to, stop her from, or stop me from further interrogating
I don't think
her.
there's any ambiguity.
There's no ambiguity. We all heard what she said, and I wanted to find out that. Yes. Are you saying that the party people are responsible for the company's inability to supply the grains as they were paid to do? I just sought that clarification. Because Parliament is a house of records.
And hell broke loose.
Public hearing, people are watching and all of that. And so it resulted in some, heckling and banter here and there. And I also needed to set the record straight. But those issues, I believe, the leadership of the committee will address it.
That's a very
harmless question. But you see, the good news is that, Moro, beyond the committee, as members of Parliament, we can take on some of these issues as public interest issues. And like I said, I am already trying to find out more about Rams Logistics. Do you know that even at a point, they converted their payment into quantities of rice, which means you supply rice or you transport the rice. But instead of paying you with money, some people at the helm of affairs at the time took the decision that let's pay you with rice. And all these things we need to, it is for the interest of this country. Look, at every point in time, our personal interest must give way for the national interest. We are there to fight for the people of Ghana. We are there to protect the public purse. And so I was only asking harmless questions. And if my questions and clarifications that I sought were misconstrued to mean trying to overstep my boundaries and whatever, I believe that the committee will address it properly. But Moro, let me assure the people of Ghana that we will continue asking the right questions because we need to uncover what happened. And the committee has the power to do so. Moro, in this special audit, some of the things that the audit uncovered, companies that were overpaid, companies that have been paid already, but they have been able to process some people in the system, process documents for them, waiting to be paid. The only lack was that at the time those documents were submitted, the Auditor General did not have, the Accountant General did not have funds to pay. And so, if indeed nothing wrong happened, why were people overpaid and they are now refunding? Why do we have issues with people who are paid mobilization and no work has been done? And go further into the details. There are many of the companies, but I will not want to go into them because the issues are before the committee.
All right.
But after the committee deals with them, as a public interest advocate, as a member of Parliament, legitimately elected by the good people of Ketu North, I will continue to ask the right questions. And some of the things I'm finding out about these Rams Logistics, very interesting. But I would not want to put my my information out now until I'm done with my research and all my investigation. And you can be rest assured that I'm a very media friendly person. As and when I'm done compiling all the information I have on them, I will come to you, put it out there, and let the good people of Ghana know.
Okay. PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal in Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.